Alright guys, what is up? Let me know who is in here, who is viewing. We're back on working on the center console now. If you are viewing, let me know in the comments or the chat. Let me get a sound check from somebody. Should be good to go. Sean Barlow, what is up, man? How is it going? Thank you for tuning in and viewing, watching, brother. We were streaming earlier for anyone who missed it. This is kind of a part 2. Working on the center console. Need to get it done, so we're going to get it done. Alright, just getting everything set up here. Lamont Wright, keep up the good work, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in and watching. What you guys are seeing right now is one of the braces for the enclosure. It's got some plexiglass inserts in it. iDome, what is up, man? How's it going? It's got some plexi inserts in it. My logo, like a mirrored logo in there. A bunch of LEDs, as you can see. 3 individual leads coming off of that thing, so it's going to be extra bright. They're addressable LEDs. They definitely look really cool. Sean Barlow got the shirt today. Got the shirt yesterday. It's awesome. Sick. Thank you so much again for ordering a t-shirt from me. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you like it. This is definitely a design I really enjoy. AK in the house, bro. Good morning. How is it going, DJ? DJ Jews. How's it going, man? Good morning. I don't know what time it is over here at your area, but it's PM over here. It's 1 PM by around this time right now. Not around this time. It is 1 PM. 1:08 to be exact. Yeah, Sean, thank you again, though, for ordering that shirt. I do appreciate that. I really enjoy these shirts and the design. It's kind of a limited edition run. I partially wish I didn't say that because I do enjoy the t-shirt so much, but and I kind of want to make more even for myself, but hey, I figure I'll keep my word and keep it limited edition. iDome at work, man. Just stopping in for a minute. Got a question. You made a black box for X10's side airport. Why didn't you center the airport? It was a little low. Lower better? Black box for 2 X10s side airport. Is this a ported box? A underseat? I mean, obviously it's a ported box, but isn't it underseat enclosure? I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Oh wow, 9 AM, Anchorage, Alaska. Cold winter now. Oh, I'm sure, man. Wow, 9 AM. That's quite the time difference. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. iDome, yeah, if you can clarify which... Okay, yeah, I see your comment. It was another box, trunk box, windows on top. Orange port was the port orange. It's kind of ringing a bell. If you could tell me what color the port was, I can maybe narrow it down a little bit better. Okay. Well, I think I've only done one with the color port in that variation. The orange was definitely like a burnt orange, so I guess I could see where you're seeing red from. To be honest with you, man, I can't remember the specific reason why I did that. I'm sure there was some rhyme or reason at the time, but as of right now, I couldn't tell you, to be totally honest with you. Yeah, I would say it. Well, it probably had to do something with fitment in some sort of fashion or way. I couldn't see me. I mean, I know it had to be all the way to the back of the box to fit the subs, but I don't know if I could necessarily see me just off-centering it for no reason. I'm not sure. It's been a long time since I did that build, and that thing's actually been passed around a few different hands as well, so not that that makes me remember any less, I guess, but that's how old the build is. I don't even remember when that video was posted, to be honest. You're gonna also see me do a lot of things for aesthetic reasons, so that might purely be the reason why. This window brace right here has to be the most complicated window brace I have ever constructed myself. It's got a bunch of individual pieces that were definitely not easy to make by hand. Everything, again, is made by hand. I don't have a CNC here, so a lot of steps before getting to this point. I mean, this window brace alone probably took me 4 hours, if not more, to make. It's the first time I've ever done LEDs inside braces. And then I kind of complicated this one even more by doing LEDs. And then in the center I wanted to have something different. But also I wanted to do individual windows. But overall I think it turned out really well. This piece here is actually a couple different pieces stacked together. It's mirror here, but also because I'm doing mirror on the other side of the box, or on the bottom of the box, this is also mirrored. So actually I don't know if you guys can even see this. Yeah, you can see it. Hi. There you go. So yeah, it's both sides are mirrored. Just so when you're looking at the mirrored bottom and reflects up to this, you can see more mirror. I just figured it would make it look more finished overall. So we got the one piece here, and then a mirror piece, and then another mirror piece. Gonna keep all these things together. Using a lot of tape over here, but that's okay. Just keep all these parts together. I don't want to lose any of them. Alright, so we got all these pieces. Set those aside. Alright, so basically this is our brace. I have to do some routering on this edge here and this edge as well, just because this is going to be, these sides are going to be against the wall. You don't need any detail on that. I would like to do some sort of finished detail in here. So I'll probably do a 45, maybe a larger 45, or some sort of angle on there. I know I had these lined up some which way. Maybe these arrows indicate something. I'll see, but then there's an opposite arrow over there, so. But we're gonna hope I got that figured out right. Okay. So, I mean, I guess really the only thing to do is just to do it. I'm gonna brad nail this together just to hold the sides firmly together, because I'm gonna separate the two pieces when I spray it. I think I'm going to do, I was thinking black. Since we're doing black vinyl on the outside of this thing, I was thinking black bed liner on the window braces would look really good. That's what I'm thinking. We're going to hope. We're going to hope that looks good. I think it will, though. So that brace specifically, so the enclosure is on its side right now. It's kind of hard to imagine necessarily, but the wavy part is the top. This is the back of the truck. You're going to have up here, it's going to be the window right here of the back of the truck. The mirrored part is the bottom of the box. So basically you're going to look through this window and see that brace. The centerpiece of that brace has my logo in it, and then you got the two plexiglass inserts with LEDs on there as well. So definitely going to look really cool. I think I want to go black though, because I'm not trying to like, oh, you know what? I'm not going to explain too much. We're just going to do it. We're painting them black. I've made up my mind. Moses Martinez, hello once again, amigo. How's it going, man? Thank you so much for tuning in and viewing. We're working on some cool stuff right now. Or one cool thing, rather. Alright, so Brad nailed these pieces together, and then we're going to take it over to the router. Ooh. Misfire. Alright, we're going to try to get some tasty jams on. It's kind of really boring working in complete silence. Definitely not used to it. Oh boy. Alright, hopefully that's not too bad for you guys. Seems like echo cancellation is taking care of it. Alright, so we're already on to this. Past this point. Taking this thing over to my router. Will Wilson, what's up, man? All right, so that's one of them, the big one we got. All right, guys, what is up? If you're just tuning in, we're working on a center console box for two DS18 Hooligan 15s. And these LEDs fit in there way better than I remembered. Man, I really did myself dirty over here killing all these batteries and not charging any up. One of them. Will Wilson, thank you for the super chat, my man. I appreciate it. I would never make you send money, but I appreciate you when you do. Don't forget, save some money for when you pick up the box. I'm just messing with you. I know you got plenty of Alright, before I go any further on this, I need to make some small change on this. Thank you, Will. I really appreciate it, man. Drops everything. Sometimes I think I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached to my body. This is a 2015 GMC Duramax. Or maybe it's 2005. Will, I think you're watching. Let us know in the comments. If you are watching, that is. It's for two DS18 Hooligan 15s. I do know that for sure. For some reason, I'm drawing I'm having a memory part of which exact year this thing is. I want to say it's 2005, but I also want to say it's 2015, so I might not have any clue what I'm talking about at all. Looks like it has a horn enclosure. No, it's not necessarily a horn. It's a portage box, technically. You'll see when I get this thing flipped up, I guess. I gotta sand these up, so I guess we could flip it up for y'all now. Put some of this stuff back. Trying to keep on that shop organization. Just cleaned it yesterday. It's got a few more days until I give up on it. All right. So here this beast is. We got a bunch of mirror on this thing. That's what's underneath all this tape. You actually kind of see it already shining up just even through the plastic that's on there. It's definitely going to be super shiny when we get those lights going. Whew, that is dusty. Sean Barlow, I'm sure we'll do a video. I believe I have some pictures of the box inside the vehicle. I can't share them on here, unfortunately, but I do somewhere. Already using that extension cord. Extension cords everywhere around here. Yeah, this thing is big though. I had to bring it in and out of the vehicle multiple times just to make sure that it fit properly. It's real tight against the seats and also really tight against the, well, not super tight, but it's real close to the dash and real close to the back wall. So this thing's gonna look really good when it's all done. It's already got a ton of blink factor with these braces. Then when I added the mirror on the inside, definitely turned it up a notch. I'm getting a decently heavy feedback sound. Are you guys hearing any of that? It's a 2005 GMC 2500 Duramax. There we go. So I was right on one of those. Where will I not lose these screws? Man, I don't have anything good to put these in. Oh my God. You guys will not believe this. Maybe you will. Sometimes adding streaming to this process, man, I make some stupid mistakes. That was ridiculous. Wow, it's actually sanding now. Imagine that. It's getting hot in here. I'm doing a lot of work. If you guys got any comments, concerns, questions, things that you think I might be able to answer, let me know right now in the comments below. If not, I'm gonna keep working along. Yeah, Will's not keeping nothing but people in this truck after this thing. On the inside, that is. Unless you want to leave some kids behind. need to restock this sandpaper. I'm about done with all of it after sanding that enclosure for the two Sundown Audio 15s that I was working on a couple streams ago. I know some of you guys are watching it. Whew, a lot of sanding over here. Sean Barlow, you get a lot of orders for those low fabs? Yeah, I do. Definitely a good amount of them for sure. Man, some of these corners in there are so sharp, I'm getting cut up as I'm trying to sand it even. Normally I'd be trying to talk through the process a little bit more, but I'm really trying to stay focused on just getting this done. If you guys have any comments or questions, feel free to comment below and I'll get to them in a few minutes here. I want to take a break. All right, we're gonna get to some of these chats if there is any. Did you use Google SketchUp to design that box? Um, Not really. I think I had like a very basic design kind of figured out maybe on Google SketchUp, but most of it I had to design in the vehicle because I didn't have a good way of. I mean, obviously I could measure, but I wanted to in real time see how the box looked compared to the seats, and also sit in the truck and feel how comfortable the box may or may not be. So what I did was I kind of got a general idea of what I was going with. Might even been just on pen and paper, and then I basically started building it inside the truck. And once I got the outside shape, I kind of figure out how much space I had, see if we had enough room for 215s. We kind of deliberated back and forth a little bit between 115 and 215s. But yeah, something like this, I'm gonna kind of design after the fact. Um, the the contour on the top, that's based off of where the seats fall and what I feel like would be comfortable, like like that first hump up, that's the armrest right there. And then obviously, you have your back seats too, but you're not really going to be able to have an armrest for the back seat just because of the fact that it is so high. But still wanted to make sure you didn't sit in the seats in this truck and feel claustrophobic. And in the front seats specifically, I made sure that the armrest was at least mostly comfortable. Obviously, you're trying to fit 215s in there. You're going to have to build the box as big as possible. So what I did was I just built the bottom first, and then basically took a big piece of plywood in the truck, the full length of the center console, and then basically the total height, and then drew on that piece of plywood where the seats were, brought it back into the shop, kind of messed around with it a little bit. Obviously, also, you got to figure out, okay, can I fit a port and 2 subs in this as well? And not only just 2 subs, I mean 2 15s, and then even farther than that, there's some pretty heavy-duty 15s, so you can't really just go with anything in this situation. Both sides are also slightly different from one another. There's a side piece that I'll throw it on there. We're waiting for some wood filler to dry right now. So just kind of have it resting against there. I don't want it to fall over, but you can see we got some details in front. We got the big plexi window and another 15. A lot of stuff going on in this enclosure. We're going to have 4 plexi windows total in this box, 1 behind each sub motor, and then we're going to have 2 windows on the top, basically right about where the seat's at so the drivers can see it, and then also something for the passengers to see in. Yeah, motor's in. He's going to be using a DS18, I think it's the Hooligan 8K. Don't quote me on that, Will. If you are by chance watching still, let us know in the comments what exact amp you're running, because I'm not. I know it's a lot of power. I think it's one of the 8Ks. Talking about doing 2 8Ks actually. The box does have a triple baffle, and then I also, not only for looks, added in the bracing for pure just keeping it together, added in the bracing as well. So got a little, double purpose, but I think the strength is a more important part than the looks, personally. Yeah, this box is right around 8 cubes. Maybe 7.5, honestly. It's touching a little small, but he really wanted to fit 2 15s in there. Plus, you can't deny that the wow factor of 2 15s is definitely more than 1 15. And I think on the fact that he's going to be planning on running possibly 2 8Ks later down the road, the fact that the enclosure is a little bit on the smaller side is actually going to help us more than hurt us. Tuning 40 hertz, all motor hash. No, not 40 hertz tuning. I'm not quite sure where you're getting that from. Unless you're one of those dudes who can look at something and somehow know the exact dimensions in tuning. Definitely not 40 hertz. It is a shorter report, but you have to remember the box is, again, on the tiny bit of the smaller side, so it's going to have a smaller port. And also we're kind of playing around with having enough space, yet having just enough space. So we did have to sacrifice slightly on the port area, but there's plenty of port area in here. I don't think that's going to be an issue. If you guys are just now tuning in, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment in the chat. Let me know where you're watching at, where you're from, where you're tuning in at. Small port area and displacements equals 38 hertz-ish. All motor hash. Buddy, no. That's all I can say. No. Sean Barlow, Ohio. What is up, man? Ohio. I think we've already talked about this. I got some family from Ohio. I lived there for a very, very short time. Only about a month and a half. Not to pick on you in any way, All Motor Hash. I think your comments kind of bring up a good topic of sometimes people think they can look at a box and guess the tuning. Maybe you could do that with a square enclosure if you're like referencing it off of dimensions of something else in the room that you like know the size of somehow already, or at least maybe a roundabout. But I don't see how anyone can look at a box and try to guess the space in it, and even furthermore, how are you going to possibly guess the tuning? I mean, for tuning, you're going to, not only need the volume of the enclosure, you're going to need the port area, the port size, and then you're going to need the port length as well. And without a single dimension, displayed at all, I'm not sure why I get so many people that assume that. Maybe it's a YouTube thing. I've definitely gotten it like on YouTube a lot, where I'll talk about how big a port is or what the tuning is, and then someone will comment below like, no, it's not, or that port looks small, or that port looks big to be tuned to such and such. It's like, dude, how are you possibly size referencing this? Do you have some sort of scale on your computer that you're able to size reference things? Like, I don't know, just kind of a crazy comment that I get sometimes. Again, it's nothing against you, All Motor Hash. I completely understand that like sometimes visually things look really different than they are, but I could pull up the exact specs. I think I have them somewhere here. But I think to try to say that you can somehow even half accurately, or maybe I'm wrong, maybe there's a different way. Hey, if there's some way you're even half ballparking the space of an enclosure just based off of looking at it, let me know. Maybe there's something I'm missing here. I mean, I guess you could purely assume the measurements, but you like lows, what can you say? You could still play low, even tuned higher. Even if in theory this enclosure was tuned higher. You could still play low with a higher tuning. Your bandwidth is going to be controlled by, really the subs, just to start off with, then the enclosure volume, then your tuning. Probably subs, then tuning, then enclosure volume. Or, I don't know. Enclosure volume and tuning definitely play a big role in that whole factor. But your bandwidth is still going to be, you're still going to have bandwidth even if your tuning is at a certain frequency. I know a lot of people like to tune like, say 30 hertz thinking that it's going to like really play down low. But if the sub's not actually, well, first of all, every sub is capable of playing low frequencies. I want to say that just to start off with, but certain subs are going to do it a lot better than others. That's just a fact. MBE preaches port area and volume for lows. MBE. Let's just say not everybody Okay, you know what? Let's try to rephrase this. Everybody has their own opinions. This is mine, and yeah, that's what I'm gonna say there. Port area and volume, though, are not necessarily going to help your lows. In fact, too much port area and too much volume can actually cause harm to your subs during low frequencies or on low frequencies. You know, if your goal is only port area, where I guess I'd have to know where he draws that fine line. You know, you're kind of, I know you're merely kind of quoting, you know, or quoting on memory of him, so I'd have to really kind of watch more of his videos to see exactly what he means by that. But yeah, the volume of the enclosure should really be determined based off of the sub and how much power you're going to be running. Obviously, tuning will dictate the size of your enclosure, but really that's going to be more so if you're trying to fit a lot of port inside the box to maybe tune lower, like I was saying. You know, a lot of guys like to tune a little lower. I will say, though, lows are definitely obtainable, even if you were tuning a little higher. What subs are going in this console? Two DS18 Hooligan 15s. Let me guess. Those subs need a bigger box? Or those subs like a certain... I'm just messing with you. Let me hear your opinion. I'm sure I'm doing it wrong. I can guarantee I'm doing it wrong. Alright, I'm going to start sanding up this wood filler here. Going to get these parts ready to the bed liner. Alright, these flat spots, I'm going to sand with the power sander. Alright, let me see this comments. Alright, displacement. Are you asking me what the displacement of the subs is? I'm going to assume it's... I designed this a while ago, so I don't know exactly off the top of my head the displacement of the woofers, but it's roughly the size of a ZV5, maybe a teensy bit bigger, arguably, but the ZV5s, the 15s, have a 0.25 cubic feet displacement. 0.22 or 0.25, one of the two. Around a quarter cube, either way, for argument's sake. How do you recommend attaching wood to metal? Well, what do you... I guess my first question, more importantly, would be, what is the application and what are you doing? Is this for a large build? Is this for just like a trim panel you're attaching to something? I guess I would need to know that first before I can really give you an accurate answer. Basin Sierra 98, what is up, man? Thank you for tuning in and watching. I'm over here working my butt off on this center console over here, getting some Getting some pieces sanded up, ready to get bed linered. Yeah, scrape and base as soon as you let me know exactly what application you're going with, or at least, you know, roughly. And if this is just an example, I guess I would need you to give me some sort of further example. Jimmy Penrose, great video. I'm Jimmy from Mississippi. Hello, Jimmy. How's it going? Thank you for tuning in and watching. I appreciate it. Going to get this chat zoomed in a little bit bigger so I can still read it from across the room. There we go. I think I can make that work there. Oh, yeah, there we go. Plenty big. Okay, cool. Should have brought my mouse over here so I could actually scroll through these things. All right, 1 done. 6 to go. 5 to go. Something. I want to grab the pieces I linered are filled last, or filled first. I want to sand first. If you're just now tuning in, let me know where you're watching from. Introduce yourself. You know, all that good stuff. Wow. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this just splintered off of the piece I was sanding. Hope I can get in there close enough. Fully through the pad. That could have been one hell of a splinter into my palm. Thankfully that didn't happen. Thankfully that didn't happen. What is the everyday life like building boxes? Hey man, it's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. I mean, obviously, life is exactly what you make of it. If you have a bad situation, you can kind of make it a lot worse by looking down on it. So, really, just in life in general, I try to have a positive outlook on everything I'm doing. You know, we truly only do get to live once, so I'm going to do what I enjoy and what I like when I can, while I can. So, right now, man, it's amazing, and I'm going to keep taking the opportunity to the fullest while it presents itself. I wake up, build boxes, go to sleep, wake up again, build more boxes. It's definitely a lot better that there is, you know, I do a lot of variety, so definitely makes things different every day. I could just imagine, like, trying to make the same boxes over and over and over again. I mean, I know I am kind of narrowing down my product line, but the underseat boxes still have so many options. I mean, I could potentially never build the same enclosure twice, really. And I always try to, like, do little certain things that make it different and fun and interesting for me. Also, make sure the customer feels like they have a custom product that they actually get, which you guys do every time. What do you think about King City Customs? If you have ever heard of them, never heard of them. I wouldn't know. I mean, honestly though, I think a safe rule of thumb is I'm going to try to give as little of an opinion as I can on anybody that you guys might ever ask me about. I don't know. It's very easy to come off as a hater when giving your opinion, and I know you guys are, maybe not you guys specifically, but all these builders that I may be giving my opinion on, or content creators, whatever. Everyone has a certain passion for it, because obviously you wouldn't be doing it if you didn't. So I really have a hard time giving my opinion, because I don't want to sound like I'm downing on anybody. I like everybody's content. Everyone's doing great stuff. Everyone's building great boxes. As long as your customer's happy, hey, sounds good to me. Obviously, if you're like ripping people off or whatnot, I don't like that. A younger me would have definitely had an opinion on just about every fucking buddy. Like, really, I would have. I used to really take my competition or competitive spirit to a very high degree when it came to this stuff. I don't know. I guess if maybe I'm just so confident in my skills that I don't care about comparing myself to others anymore. But I'm so in car audio, I don't think I can have an opinion about another car audio builder or fabricator without it sounding like, it's because it's kind of hard to come off in a negative light, or for me to feel like it's not criticism. Of course, I think my shit's the best out there, so. Alright, missing some of these comments. This thing is so zoomed in now. It's like 2 comments and then it scrolls down. Okay, scraping base. Like I'm building a box in a trunk wall to wall. In a trunk situation, honestly, I would just build your box in there tight. If you're building it inside the box, I would say just build it snug inside the trunk, and you're not going to have any issues. If you do really want to attach it, you could use like nut certs, or like riveted nuts. You could use that. You could drill through and then bolt. Normally, though, I'd say you probably can get away without attaching it as long as you build it really tight. In the car instead of out. Yeah, like I said, scraping base. If you're doing it in the car, just build that thing in tight. Don't be afraid to use that mallet to bang pieces in place if you need to get it in there tight. Let's see here. Oh, is King City Customs something that Parker has? I've seen Parker's content. He does some cool stuff. I like his videos. Any new plans on future personal setups? I would have to be. I'd have to have no customers waiting on me, I guess. I just, I have a lot of things going on in my personal life, all good, of course, that I'd rather spend my time on than building a system right now. So, unless, I just had, like, a lot of free time around the shop, I guess I would probably be more serious about doing that. Eventually I will, though, honestly. Hey, dude, if I had the money to pay somebody to do it, I probably would. It'd look a little weird to have a box builder, pay someone to build a box, but I just don't have time to work on my own stuff, and I'm not going to put my stuff before our customers. It just wouldn't make sense business-wise, really. It wouldn't make sense for y'all, and also, I'd rather be getting money than spending money. Tyrone, stock it with your underseat enclosures. How can you mount them down so they don't slide? Good question. Very good question. I wish I had a better answer for you, or like answer that I've already put some really thought into. I'm going to say off the top of my head, again, you could bolt them down if you really wanted to. I guess, the rivet nut cert tool, which basically is like a rivet gun but has a threaded insert it rivets into the metal. You could, put your enclosure down and then drill through the bottom of the enclosure into your truck's body, then use a threaded nut insert to put inside the truck's body, and then bolt through, obviously, but you definitely want to take, like, hella precaution doing that, because there's gas tank, gas line, brake lines. I mean, 100 things you wouldn't want to drill into. Thankfully, some of it, there is usually clearance, but you want to make double, triple, quadruple sure you're not going to hit anything when you're doing that. Velcro, that's a pretty good idea, actually. I think Velcro might work good. Now, you might have some issues getting the actual Velcro piece to stick to the box. Like, especially with the bed liner box, it is a kind of a textured finish. And I think that might be the downfall there to that. But you could always, I guess, staple the Velcro sheet onto the bottom of the box and then, use the adhesive onto the carpet itself. I think that'll probably work pretty good. Or you might just be able to use one part of the hook part of the Velcro, and it might just stick well enough to your carpet. I mean, it depends on the situation and what you guys are trying to avoid. It's something that I think about quite a bit just because, I run a business. But, when you guys get boxes and are putting them in the truck, say your truck flipped over, you had a crazy accident or something going like 40 down the road. With a loose box in the car, it's possible that it could, it could hurt you. So I would definitely make sure you do that. I guess I'm gonna have to start putting like some. Now that I'm speaking about it publicly, I'm gonna have to put some kind of instructions in the box that say, make sure you secure this down properly before you start driving around with it. I've seen a video of somebody who had an SUV build, and they got in a really bad car accident. Like they rear-ended somebody. They had a ported box in the truck with a sub mounted in it. The sub ended up in his dashboard. I mean, a 15-inch sub ended up in this dude's fucking dashboard. If that was the back of this guy's head, he would 100% probably not be here today. I mean, that not only, you have to secure your subs in there well, but dude, I don't know. I mean, me personally, like if I had an SUV and I had a sub box in there, I 100% wouldn't let my kid ride in there with me, because if God forbid there ever was an accident, I don't want to see what that box is going to do inside there, rolling around inside your car if you were to flip your car. I don't even I make sure not to drive around with a bunch of loose stuff in the vehicle as well, because all that shit's going to be projectiles. hopefully I'm thinking like way, hopefully I'm thinking way too much, but that's something that I would be worried about. Nothing like having a ZV418 inverted in a box, breaking off the screws in a car, crashing in a car crash coming at you at 30 miles per hour. I'm laughing, but that's not funny. But yeah, no, I mean, think about that. I mean, this was like I think it was a control. I want to say it was a Crescendo Contralto 15. I mean, this sub was in his dashboard. I mean, it implanted itself in there. It became a permanent part of this vehicle. Like, L-shaped brackets. Yeah, that'll probably definitely, that's better than nothing for sure. I don't think that would I don't know if that would necessarily, you know what? I know that wouldn't sustain a car accident. I know when I got T-boned in my Camry, like way back in the day, the car audio shop that installed it for me, that's what they did. They actually L-bracketed the box to the trunk. Like, they did it to the back brace inside the trunk, and then they also did it, I think, down on the floor as well. And yeah, I got T-boned, and that thing still came undone. Yeah, it was thankfully in the trunk. I don't have to worry about it. Hell, what about 60 miles an hour or even worse? Dude, knock on some wood, man. I don't even want to know. And I'd hope that never happens to anybody here or anybody in general. Really. I guess that Mythbusters episode has me freaking spooked on that whole thing, because I know they were showing like the damage like a box of tissue is going to have on the back of someone's head if it hits them when their car, comes to a dead stop at 60. That's a lot of force that is very frequently, misunderstood, I guess you could say. I definitely don't play around when it comes to driving or being in the car. Anchor on the back side. Yeah, scraping base, that's a good idea. In some trucks, there's like factory bolts and stuff that hold the like the jack in place. And in the extended cabs for the 07 to 13, I do actually know exactly where that bolt is. I could potentially, figure out a way to have it, the bolt actually go through the bottom of the enclosure and have you guys bolt it off. But then again, you'd have to worry about having a seal on there, so I kind of skipped that for now. I did the same thing in the new 20 and 21, the crew cab and extended cab. I got a mold of the floor on that thing, and what I did was molded out the bolts. And, really I kind of did that to make sure that you guys don't have to cut your fucking factory bolts. Sorry about cussing too much. My last video got demonetized partially because I was cussing. Might have been maybe the music in the background, but I think more just the cussing. Many ways of anchoring subwoofer boxes. You'll figure it out. Jose, yeah, you're right. If you could wire a system in, I think you could figure out how to anchor it down. I think anything is better than nothing as well. A lot of people don't even put any consideration into it. So in the Florida, community-based scene, having a walled-off vehicle is pretty damn popular. I mean, I'd say I know of at least 20 people who have a walled vehicle. Obviously, because I am in the scene and I go to shows, I know a couple more people than the average guy, but even at local shows, it's very popular to have a walled-off base vehicle. And I can't tell you how many times I have seen those walled vehicles not be secured down in any sort of way. And, man, that's like a fucking 1,000-pound crusher I mean, an accident, that thing scoots forward. I'm pretty confident that would take your seats. That would just shear the bolts of your seats right off. There would be no hope for those not breaking. I think anything else in its way in an accident that you're going fast enough is getting broken right off, and you're probably getting smushed between your steering wheel and your box. So yeah, if you guys are doing big walls, I definitely recommend securing them down. And it's just added stuff that very frequently gets missed. I know one kind of rule I had when I did wall builds for anyone is that you had to allow me to bolt through your floor to bolt the enclosure down to the truck, because I myself had a C-pillar wall in my SUV, and I didn't have it bolted down because at the time I was really dedicated to not messing it up and being able to keep it at a point where I could return the vehicle to 100% factory. I don't want to have any extra holes or, you know, mounting stuff. So what I did was I just made the box really tight, and then I made trim panels that kind of held it in good. I thought it was good enough. You know, I figured heavy, it's already held down pretty good just with the weight alone, and then I got it wedged in between the wheel wells. I never got in an accident or anything, but just general, like, having to stop on the brakes. You know, sometimes you don't see quick enough, and you gotta lock them tires up to not rear end somebody, or sometimes traffic just comes to a dead stop. But either way, the box was moved like 4 inches, you know, just after like a month or two of it being in the car. And I had probably only had to brake hard one time. And I obviously didn't hit anybody. I came to a full stop. But after that, I was like, man, I don't know what could have happened to me if I would have actually gotten to a bad, you know, I rear-ended somebody, or shit, someone comes behind me and rear-ends me so hard that it throws the thing forward. Hopefully I'm not scaring any of you guys, just trying to, you know, verbally mention my concerns that I've seen some of you guys do, or concerns with issues I've seen in certain builds. Maybe not some of you guys specifically. I'm just taping all these holes off because I have the plexiglass inserts and all these things. I don't want any bed liner to land on the inside mounting flange of this piece. Well, any of the pieces necessarily. There's very tight tolerances between the plexiglass and then also the LEDs around it. So I don't want to have any bed liner there. I likely will go back afterwards and spray paint it black, just so you don't see anything through the plexiglass pieces. You know, when you have the lights off, you might see... Well, actually, you know what? The LEDs cover the whole perimeter of the plexi piece, but we're going to paint it black anyway. We're not going to take no chances. We already spent this much damn time on this thing. Time well spent, though. Time well spent. This thing's turning out really good. Alright, unfortunately there's a lot of pieces. So many redundancies, and this is what people forget to realize. Jose, you gotta go. Thank you so much for watching, man. I appreciate you tuning in to the live stream and being a regular guest. Thank you so much, man. I hope you have a good day or a good night, whatever damn time it is in your area. You guys are confusing me now. Got people watching in Japan, in Alaska. Thank you guys for tuning in, by the way. I appreciate you guys. If you guys are just tuning in, let me know in the chat where you guys are from, where you're tuning in from, or just let me know you're here. Thank you so much for watching. Right now we're working on a center console for a 2005 GMC 2500 Duramax. It's going to have 2 DS18 Hooligan 15s in it. It's got plexiglass LEDs. We're going to do some vinyl on it, a whole bunch of good stuff. So we're going to be basically, or I'm going to be basically streaming until I'm done with this project. So expect many, many hours of stream to watch over the next, I don't know, week or so. Not week, never mind, I'm a liar. The next 2 days. He's picking this box up tomorrow night to bring it to his show. We got a lot of work, but it wouldn't be car audio, or it wouldn't be fabrication if you weren't doing it on a crunch or a deadline. Seems like no matter when you set the date, you're kind of at the end of it getting stuff together. Frank Jones, or Johns, running the C-Max battery now and worry about it. Never really thought about having an accident, but something to think about. Houston, Texas, thank you so much for tuning in. Frank, yeah, the C-Max, I would definitely, well, you know, again, if you're in a trunk car, you know, your C-Max is probably going to be behind your box, pressed right up against that trunk wall. If you get in a car accident, it's definitely going to get smushed. Thankfully, and don't take my word as, you know, something for sure, but I've heard the C-Max is pretty dang safe. I've seen people, you know, poke holes in it and stuff, and it seems like it's pretty safe. Obviously, I would keep that in mind if you ever were to get in a real bad rear-end accident, and probably get the hell out of your car. You know, obviously, hopefully you can if you ever, you know, if that ever happens to anybody. Hopefully that never happens to anybody. Hope you guys are all safe. No one gets in any car accidents. I live like 2 minutes down from a fire station and I guess ambulance area where they dispatch ambulances from, because 3 to 10 times a day I will hear an ambulance driving by, and I'm always kind of reminded, like, damn. Hopefully everybody's okay. Secure that C-Max, though. Definitely want to have it at least secured. Especially because once those, you know, once like a battery or, you know, really a battery, C-Maxes are batteries, but once that shit starts arcing out, it ain't stopping until it's depleted. And man, those batteries have a lot of power. I know I've accidentally like arced out wrenches and shit on certain lithiums, and that thing turns into a welder mighty quick. All this damn taping. That's what I'm curious with. You mean securing it down, or the possible danger? Yeah, I'd honest, you know, when lithium came out, I kind of just said, like, it was kind of one of those things, like, well, if your car ever starts on fire, you know, just sit back and watch the show, because there's not much you can do safely to stop it from arcing. I mean, you could jump in there and try to, like, get it off of whatever it's on, but if it contacted metal, it's likely stuck as hell because it welded itself on in the first half a second. But there's so much power, it's going to, like, blow chunks of metal apart. Like, for real, for real. Shit, I remember I've even seen when, like, the lithiums were just getting started, I've seen a couple people, like, arc their wedding bands out on the damn lithium batteries. And man, their fingers looked gruesome. Terrible. Not something I'd want to do. Shit, I already told my fiance I might just tattoo my ring on, because I work around batteries once in a while, and I'm not trying to have that happen to me ever. That's what I've been told. Yeah, it's Not a safe situation. Even AGM batteries, though, once they start arcing, there's not really much you can do about it safely. And, you know, really, your car's only material possession. There's no sense of getting yourself freaking hurt trying to, I don't know, stop it from burning down. Obviously, nobody ever wants to see that. I know one car show back in the day, my buddy had this big Shock Industries 9K. I think it was a big old amp, but something happened inside the amp, probably because it was vibrating and flexing like hell from being mounted on the back of his wall that wasn't really built right. The amp started smoking, and I mean, really, damn near, we thought it was going to catch fire. So, you know, everyone's running around like a chicken with their heads cut off, trying to figure out what to do. And, you know, thankfully, someone was quick thinking enough to have some big cable cutters at the show, and we were able to get the cables cut in time. But even then, you got to kind of, in that frantic situation, you got to remember that you don't want to cut through 2 wires at once, because then you're just going to shock the shit out of yourself. And then also, you know, do you have a front battery? Like, where's that arcing coming from? If it's coming from your front battery, you don't want to cut the stuff in the rear, because then you're still going to have power going to it. I think in that situation, it was just an amp issue. Like, the power supply went bad, and it was just, it let out that magic amp smoke. That thing was a pretty rare amp, so I mean, he had a really hard time getting that thing repaired too. I think someone actually had to like take parts off of one of their, I guess, what would you call it, donor amps, just to make it work. Alright, so we can start getting these things sprayed now. Looks like I need a little more area than that. Running out of damn tables over here to work on. I think I might have to pull this heavy ass box off of here for the time being. Woo! Thankfully that stopped it. Oh, that thing's going to be so shiny with the mirrors. It's taking everything inside me not to peel off that paper and try to peep at what the mirror looks like. I did it on small areas. I had to, like on the real small pieces, like the 1-inch pieces, just because I was trying to make sure I didn't get any adhesive on the mirror. But it took so much willpower not to rip that damn plastic right off of there, or the paper, just to see what it looks like. Even on plexiglass windows, I have the hardest time not ripping off the paper to see inside the box. It's like the best part of, it's like the most satisfying part of the whole build. Thankfully, plexiglass, you can get away with a little more scratches than you can this mirror stuff. With the mirror, if you scratch the plexiglass, it refracts off the mirror, but at a slight angle, because you're always looking at it at a slight angle, and it just looks like 2 scratches. So even minor scratches become very obvious with the mirrored plexi. Alright, so we're going to lay all these pieces out. I'm going to get some paint triangles. Hopefully I have enough. I don't know if I do. I'll just use some scrap wood just to get these lifted off of the table or whatever I'm painting on. My cart, I guess you could say. Man, I just organized yesterday. I threw away a whole bunch of scraps. That's what happens every single time. You think you don't need it, you toss it out just to realize you need it. You know what might work good? I just ordered in some new shipping, like heavy-duty cardboard corner protectors for the boxes when I'm shipping them out. I think these might actually do just the trick. They're a triangle, so, and they're pretty heavy duty. I think these will work good. We're gonna see. Oh, perfect. So these things are for packaging and painting. It's always nice when you find a dual purpose for something. These damn things ain't cheap either. Well, they're not expensive, but at $1 a piece, when you consider you're probably going to put 10 of them on each box you're sending out, it gets kind of expensive. Plus the fact that the foam I use is also $14 a sheet. So just in shipping material, you know, I got 50 bucks in a box before I send it out. Maybe. I think my math's pretty off on that, but that's okay. I don't want things to get damaged in shipping, so I don't have any problem going the extra mile to make sure nothing gets damaged. You know what's crazy though? It seems like the better you package it, the more they think it's like a fucking go ahead to like toss it out of the truck or something. Like, ah, this is padded well. This ain't gonna break. Let's abuse the shit out of it. I don't know if you guys are familiar with. Well, I've only seen them on MythBusters. They're impact, like stickers that can rate the impact that something withheld. They use them on expensive shipments. I feel like I should start buying some of those and you know, seeing exactly how much like damage these things are withstanding. But they're pretty expensive. I've looked them up. They're like $30 a piece, so that's going to be something crazy in there. What is the first thing a person got to do to get a box built by you? I'm new to your channel. Jimmy Penrose. It depends on what you want to get, man. I have recently decided to put a temporary but long-term pause on doing fully custom orders. I am, though, however, doing truck boxes. So anything under seat for trucks, if you go check out my website, you know what, I'm going to say that's the biggest tip. Go check out my website, www.CustomLowz.com. It was scrolling on the bottom, but it stopped. We're going to put that back on here. Let's see here. Where are we at? Where are we at? It was on here. Maybe it just timed out. I think my website is scrolling down the bottom. It should be either way. I can't tell. Maybe I'm too zoomed in. Okay, yeah. So go to the website below. That's scrolling down on the screen. You have a whole list of truck enclosures I build, or you can check out my low fabs line, which is going to be a line of pre-designed enclosures built specifically for certain woofers. They will work for other woofers, so if you don't have specifically what you're looking for, you could possibly go with something different. Something that was, you know, if you have like a Sundown SA12, you could probably go, or Sundown U12, and maybe I don't have a box for that, you can get something for a Sundown SA12. Just note in there that it's for a different sub. I'm not going to change the volume or tuning, so that is going to remain the same, and so will the design. But I will change the cutout for you guys. So if you want to do that, you can do that. I have the dimensions and the volume, I believe, and the tuning listed on each individual low fabs, which will give you an idea, you know, looking at the specs of your specific sub, what will fit in it. And if you want to go even further, well, you know what? Like I said, you can just tell me to make it for a different size sub. As long as it is, a 12 and a 12, I'm obviously, if you order a box for a 10, I'm not going to cut it for a 12. That's not going to fly. But if you order a box for a 10 and you have, say, a 10 that is similar, I will definitely cut the hole out differently for you. Now, the exception to that is going to be if you have like a really heavy sub, a Sundown ZV5, a DS18 Hooligan, something that is like over 60 pounds. If you try to order it for a really low grade woofer, I won't modify the hole for that because I know you're probably going to have issues. The enclosures that I have on my website that are for specifically the heavier, bigger, more powerful subwoofers are built accordingly. So just go check it out. I got a ton of stuff. And if you want to order something for your truck, you can go check that out on my website too. I got Ford, Chevy, Nissan, GMC, a whole bunch of stuff. I got a ton of different years too of all the different brands and models. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick, 5-minute intermission, something like that. I will be back very, very shortly. Next couple of minutes. I mean, don't even leave the stream. That's how soon I'm going to be back. And we'll be back in a couple more minutes. All right, guys, gals, whoever's watching, probably not gals, according to my analytics, only dudes exclusively watch this show. Anyway, thank you so much for waiting for me. Sean Barlow, thanks so much for the super chat. Will Wilson, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate it, guys. All while I was gone. Will Wilson, thank you so much again. Another super sticker. I appreciate it. I'm trying to see what I missed in these comments. I know I was gone for a while. I appreciate any of you guys who actually stuck through that. I had to go help had to go assist with the baby really quick, and needed some refreshments. It's been a long 2.5 hour streaming, so let's see here. I went way too far up. Now we're going to find it somewhere. I think we're almost there. Will Wilson, let's make it rain up in here. Thank you so much for the super sticker and super chat. Sean Barlow, thank you so much. Alright, so the cat made an appearance. That is not surprising. That's pretty funny to hear, actually. I'm surprised they're not more up in my business in the streams. Maybe they're camera shy, but man, when I'm working, they definitely like to be up in my business. You guys can't see the top of the fridge, but we got mittens on the top of the fridge right now, guarding the drinks. Thank you so much, you guys, for who waited for me. Really appreciate that. I don't really want to end the stream, so I figured I would just keep going, but definitely need to get some drinks and eat a few snacks. All this hard work has made me hungry. You know, it's funny too. I knew I was going to be like working a long day, so I intentionally kind of, you know, ate a big meal before, you know, getting going, and I'm already damn hungry again. I was trying to avoid that. That was the whole thing I was trying to stop from happening. Alright, so where are we at? I wish I could actually see what the super sticker was on the live stream, although I don't know if it looks like it, if it actually is anything. Alright, if you guys are still in here, let me know you're in here. Let me get your location. Comment it below. I'm not sure if you're trying to type emojis, Will, but it is literally showing up as elbow cough and oops. Maybe that's intentional, but I don't know. Alright guys, comment below if you're watching right now. If you just tuned in, we're working on a center console build for a 2005 GMC. Up there's Whiskers walking across the screen. A 2005 GMC 2500 Duramax. Hopefully I got that right, Will. I know you're watching. This thing's got a whole bunch of really cool options going. We got windows. We got a bunch of mirror on the inside. Bunch of LEDs. This thing is going to be sweet. If you guys haven't yet already, make sure you like this video up. Subscribe to the channel. Share the video. Buffering, good vibes. Okay, now I'm like really curious as to what is going on. Maybe you guys can see emojis and I just can't see emojis on my end. I almost want to pull YouTube up to see what exactly you guys are even talking about. I know sometimes the emojis and stuff won't format on the computer. Maybe just with the fact that I'm on StreamYard itself, it's just not formatting over. If I can open up YouTube on my computer, Eventually, oh, there we go. Thankfully, it's the first thing that shows up when I pull up YouTube. Now let's see if I can actually get it to open up. See the comments. Might look totally different on YouTube. I don't know. My StreamYard view, I definitely can't tell what's going on. Waiting. Seems it's gonna take forever to get to load up, if it loads the chat up at all, actually. I'm about to give up on it. Taking a quick break before we start painting up these pieces. These window braces we just got sanded. Ah, now I can see. Now I can see. They're emojis. Yes, I totally didn't see those at all. See, it doesn't show that. Oh, even the super stickers, it doesn't even show what those look like on StreamYard. If you don't want to spend any money, you can definitely help out the live stream by sharing it. Go on your social media pages. Go on your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter, whatever the heck you use to get in contact with people. Get in your groups. Send them to watch this stream. Get some more people in here watching us build. Watching us work. All right, sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties. For some reason, StreamYard is closing on my phone. Scraping base. Right now, I got two X12s, 1000-watt RMS a piece, but in the market for something bigger. What y'all recommend? I'm looking at X12s or X15s. So many choices. Well, I don't know, man. I guess it depends. I know you said you're working with a trunk build, so I don't know if you're necessarily going to have enough room for two 15s. Two X12s definitely be pretty good. Can't go wrong with Sundown. Almost anything they offer, personally, in my opinion. But yeah, I would say the X is definitely a good choice. Pick your sub once you figure out exactly, how big your box is going to be or how much space you have to play with. I would definitely recommend figuring out exactly what you can fit before you buy anything. I wouldn't even buy an amp yet. If you haven't started, or if you have stuff, obviously, then you're kind of working with what you have and try to find a good match for your amp, good match for other equipment you might already have with the build. But if you could start from scratch, I would first, most importantly, figure out what enclosure you can fit, how much room you have, and then go from there. Once you find out how much room you have in your box, or even in your fictional box, let's just say you do the math after doing some measurements, then you can kind of figure out what subs you can run as far as size. Now, obviously, 4 cubes, you're going to either be able to run 2 12s or 1 15. I would then kind of weigh out your pros and cons for each option if you can fit both options properly. Obviously, if you have a trunk build, I would say, in my mind, automatically, I would go with the 12s, only because the 15s are going to be probably the only way you're going to mount those 15s is going up firing. And personally, not my most favorite mounting position when it comes to in a trunk. I have done them and they have sounded good, but that's like if you already have a 15 and for some reason you didn't think about it and now you're getting, now you have a trunk car. So it depends on your situation, though. So figure out how big your box is. Then you can pick out what size subs you can fit. Then I would say that after that, pick out what brand and then what model. Obviously, what brand. Every brand has probably at least 4 different RMS rating options. So you're going to be able to kind of pick a couple different things there, but I'd probably pick your brand first and then figure out what series of sub you're going to run from that specific brand. I'd pick that based off of what power you're going to run on your system. If you're going to have a system, if you're going to have 5K in power, you want to have subs that are going to be properly matched with that. You don't want to put super small subs on too much power, and you don't, well, I guess necessarily you can't have too little power. So I would say that's probably not too much of an issue, but too much power can definitely be an issue. Obviously, with tuning, you can change how much power your amp puts out, and you can kind of tune down and maybe have more headway in your amp. There's so many different possibilities when it comes to a system, but that's really kind of what I like about it. But also, I can see why that is so intimidating and could be so confusing for people just getting into it, or even people that are kind of seasoned, maybe in having a system. A lot of people, most of their experience is going to come from going to a shop. They say, hey, I got this much to spend. What do you guys think will work in here? And kind of the shop will give you recommendations, but that doesn't always mean that they're going to recommend a system to you that is going to be the best for you. Sometimes they're going to recommend what is best for them. That's why I don't personally sell equipment here. I don't like to sell equipment because I don't want to be a salesman at all. Like, I want you to know what you want before coming to me, because I don't want to have to convince anybody of something especially when it comes to things that can be very opinionated or for those people who are selling products that they're really not very knowledgeable about. I find that to be a bigger issue. Getting sold a product from a shop that doesn't really match what you're doing, and probably could have been better off, maybe saved you money, and in the end you've been happier if they would have recommended something different. But instead they kind of picked, maybe, hey, I've worked in shops, so I know for a fact, like, you become a distributor for a brand, hey, that's the only thing you're gonna fucking recommend for the next month and a half, 2 months, because either you want to sell the inventory that you just had to purchase, or you want to try and like utilize this new equipment you got because you're excited, and maybe you want to start getting some experience with it or get it into your shop. Yeah, or just the newest new thing you want to recommend to a customer just because you personally think it would be cool. That's why I kind of stay away from selling equipment, although also it's a big pain because there truly are so many different variations and things you can go with when it comes to a system that I don't want to try to pretend to know the best option, because really it's just going to be the best option for what I offer, unless I offered every brand or something, which nobody is going to be able to do. Boy, hopefully you guys didn't pick up that horrible sneeze through the mic. If you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the chat. If you're just tuning in right now, we're working on a center console for a 2005 GMC 2500 Duramax. It's going to have two DS18 Hooligan 15s in it. It's got a whole bunch of really cool stuff going on. So let us know if you were just tuning in. Hey, let us know if you've been tuned in. Alright, so one thing I have to do before I get these ports bedlinered, I like to just go over it with black. Kind of acts a little bit as a primer, and not for adhesion purposes, but mostly for, you don't gotta spray so much damn bedliner on it. Sometimes you gotta spray it way too thick in order to cover up all the wood grain that you have on the braces. So the black spray paint just kind of helps me save a little bit of time with that. I'll bring you guys back over to what I'm working on once I get once I start getting the bedliner mixed up. Just quickly, just getting these covered. Really, that's really the only goal. You're not worried too much about. Obviously, you're always worried about quality, but that is not your main concern. Coverage is your main concern on this coat. It's just a real light coat, just to get them black, so you don't have so much. You don't have to build up as much thickness in the bedliner to get all that bare wood covered. And I've been kind of doing it this way for a long time, so definitely a good method or a trick for you guys. If you want to save yourself some bedliner and save yourself some, sometimes this will even avoid having to do a second coat, because sometimes you might spray the whole thing and you still see a tiny bit of wood under there. The bedliner is really spraying it on like, 1,000 little droplets at a time, and you're not always going to get a full a full coverage that way. Quickly, at least, that's for sure. Will Wilson, 2 8K sub amps and 2 4K 4-channel amps. Yeah, I was pretty sure you were going with the 8Ks. I was trying to remember, but I didn't want to misquote it. Alright, before we go and spray this bed liner, we also need to make sure we open this damn bay door. This bed liner's got to be like the most intensely chemical smelling stuff to spray. Next to like maybe automotive clear, this stuff definitely has a pretty intense smell that lingers around. So definitely don't want to ever spray without having your doors open, good ventilation. Definitely going to be wearing a mask. Alright, so we're going to go with black bed liner on these things. I do think a full kit, a full bottle is going to be maybe too much bed liner, but we're really, you can only mix it up by the bottle. And if anything, it's like 3/4 of a kit. Might have to unfortunately waste a little bed liner in this one. I'm using Raptor liner, bed liner to do the bed liner. Any high output alternator experience and any recommendations? Scrape and bass. I would recommend going to Mike Singer with Singer alternators. I have run his alts in my personal vehicle. I had one, a 320 amp alternator, which I definitely put through its paces. Very good customer service. Really good deal to deal with. He's definitely not going to be your cheapest option by any means. In fact, he might be one of the more expensive options, and not by a ton. You know, it's very marginal, but this is definitely a case of you get what you pay for with this situation. I've had a ton of people go through him. I've recommended him to customers many times. I've installed a couple of his alts into customers' vehicles. Every time I'm going to Mike Singer if I have the possibility to. And he also is going to offer. He's going to offer a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't. Certain lines of vehicles don't have very many good options from some of the brands, but he has an option for almost anything. I would definitely go with him. Probably the next brand I would go with personally is maybe Mechman, just because they've been around a long time. They do a lot of business. I haven't really seen any big complaints. I mean, they sell thousands upon thousands of alternators, and I haven't seen no one complaining yet, so they must be doing something right. He's the only guy I would use. I guess put it that way. That's the best way to explain it. It's Mike Singer. For alternators, the only person I would use. Other than that, Mechman. Some of the other brands, I mean, I guess maybe just lack of experience. I don't know. Most of the times, though, you're probably not going to get a bad product from most alternator companies. It might turn into a bad product in, 5 or 6 years, but how long are you looking to get out of it? I had my alt in my truck for 5 years, and it did go out on me. I will say I abused the heck out of it. Not really abused it. I used it very, very, very much, and I probably put 60,000 miles on the alt. I can't remember even what the issue was that I had with it. I just know that I had to take it out and swap it for my stock alt. I don't have a build going back in the truck, but he did, offer. He offered to do a complete rebuild of the alt and even upgrade it for more power, put it in a better case if I just paid for the parts. So you really can't beat that offer, I'd say. Very generous. He does have a warranty. I'm not going to try to pretend I remember exactly what it is because I don't. But he does have a warranty. He also backs up his work. And I think most of the time all you're going to really pay for is parts, not labor. Alright, let's see here. Here we go again with this damn camera issue. I don't know why it's doing that. It'll come back. Alright, so we're going to move you guys over to the bed liner, or where I'm spraying the bed liner. I already got it mixed up. I'm using Raptor liner for my bed liner. I already got the hardener in there. I'm using a black bed liner. I think black is going to offset it nicely. The difference between the white inside and the black braces. Plus with the fact that there's mirror in here, I think having the black braces is going to give it a nice touch. Alright, gonna get my respirator on. Gonna start spraying this stuff up. Whew. Oh, that mask makes it hard to breathe. All right, guys. Well, we're going to be waiting, unfortunately, a little bit to get these things dried up. So we're going to be heading out of here, guys. So if you guys, where am I at? Maybe you can see me. Hold on. Let's get this right before we just leave. All right. So we're over 3 hours streaming at this point. Thank you guys so much for all of you who have been watching this far. If you're just tuning in now, thank you so much. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Make sure you let me know you were here. If you've watched this far in this video in the live stream, make sure you comment 1728 down below. Or if you're watching after the stream has been posted, make sure you comment 1728 down below so I know you've watched this far. We're going to be back today for sure tonight. We got a lot more work to do on this thing. It's going to be a late night, but we're going to get it done. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. For all of you who've tuned in, I'll be back with another episode of Live in the Shop with CustomLowz. And I will see you guys there.